8. I've actually sacrificed a bit of my lunch break to show you what I've done with page 6. So first up, I've actually given him eyes. So I'll just zoom in on that panel. Actually had just like, I don't know, white slits. And I've redrawn that panel in perspective and I shift it over. And I think that's going to look pretty good. So in this page, our hero's been in a coma for 18 months and his friend slash enemy Carlos comes to visit. And they reminisce about some old times, and then he wakes up. I think the face works really well on this shot. Eyes are maybe a bit too wide. I'll just move them together, and I reckon that will probably do it for this page. So I'm quite happy with how this page is going. So next up is typesetting. Next up is typesetting, and then I guess we'll put it to be scheduled to be published. Okay. Whilst I'm here, I thought, because I've got another 15 minutes, I could talk about how I actually write the script. So I've written the script as a Google document, and it's long. It's about 70 odd pages. And the way I work is I tend to rough each page out. So this is our first page. So you get an idea of how it flows together. This is that page. No, this is the page that we were just looking at. Slightly different, but it's all in there. And there's lots of it. Yeah, lots of it. So I'm looking at refining page 6, and there's this new section here, which is about 30 pages in. That I'm looking to do at the moment. So yeah, that's how I tend to write. I tend to think about page turns. So I'm always wanting to put my big reveal or my cliffhanger sort of there. I like to have something there, a question or a reveal that can be carried across there. Yeah, so that's how I work anyway. I'll tell you about the tools. This is what I'm drawing it on. It's a Samsung tablet. It's a Galaxy 10.1. It's running Android, and I just use a layer paint and Medibang to put it together. Alright, I think that's enough for today. Alright, bye now. Day 9. So I've changed the page gutters colours, and originally this was all black and it's now back to normal white. I want to use the black for the Buck Rogers stuff, and that's our new panel there. So yeah, I've inked it, flattered it, put a bit of colour on it and some shading, and I'm quite happy with that. So we'll typeset that. I'll tidy up some of these shadows here, and then we'll call this one done. This is like a fancy cutaway. These are like more painterly style cutaways. Yeah, that took ages to do, but that should be quite fun. Speaking of fun, I mean, this is only day 9, so I found out today that I'm nominated for a design award. Apparently it's a project that I worked on last year is up for, I'm going to read this off, School Library Association UK Information Book Award 2018 So hopefully we might win an award. That'd be nice. Yeah. So anyway, that's page 6 done. Just needs to be typeset and scheduled for publishing. Then we're back onto the Dan Dare / Flash Gordon stuff, and then we'll carry on from there. Alright, I think that's enough for now. Alright, bye now. Day 10. Got a lot done today. So I've been working on this initial page, which is the new page 29, I want to say. I've took out the Stormtrooper in here and changed his panel so it's now like a lieutenant type of character, and I quite like this artistic sort of composition for this panel. And then sort of a proper gloating Doctor Doom style pose for that one, and then voice off panel spins around what's occurring. Just going to pause it there. And we've got our first shot of our heroes. So with some speech bubbles, you know, Nebulon saying something, and Captain Zap says something, and then the robot, Rusty the robot, says something which is, you know, hey boss, I'm finding it difficult to hold the gun because he's got claws, and that's important. Played with the colours. Originally I was going for sort of a white spacesuit, but actually I realised that his spacesuit needs to be blue. She needs to have red prominent in her costume, and this robot needs to be a green colour. And then I sketched this panel, which is "You'll never stop me, Captain Zap. God's attack." And then I laid out another page, like some robots running at the heroes. There's Rusty, Captain Zap, Nebulon saying something. I want a fight montage in there, and these two panels are for the setup for the next page. So this is kind of very rough and ready at the moment. In addition to that, I've rewritten the script for page 20. Originally it was just a one-page splash screen, a splash page of a house in a street, but of course the proportions of these pages don't really lend themselves to a single view. So I've sort of rewritten that page to sort of take into account that. So you've got there'll be an establishing shot at the top, then there'll be some panels and set up for the next page. So that's that. So all in all, busy day. I think that's enough for today. Alright, I'll see you later. Bye now. Day 11. I've been working on this page, new page 29, sort of tightening it up, adding some shading. I think it works really well actually. This panel looks great, and this one looks really good. These two panels are big against a dark background as well, as will this exterior shot in space, which has got me slightly concerned. The temptation is to have a black star field for the background. Only that means you've got like a really monochromatic page. And I think space looks boring when you do that. If you've got a black background with just a few white specks on there, it's kind of dull. It doesn't work really. So I want my space to look a bit more interesting than that. But anyway, this is what I've been doing today in my half hour. Today it was an hour. So I sort of tightened it up. Tightened up the pencils on this one. Put a rough bit of shading in there. So there's that one. And then I've been working on the next page, where it's not very. Just turn that layer off, makes it a bit more readable. So this is what I'm currently working on. Sort of this idea of a fight sequence where you've got Captain Zap shooting someone, and the Nebulon sort of decapitating a robot, you know, and I want the laser blast to go through the panel, you know. It makes it very dynamic. And then in the foreground, there's the robot going, just can't hold the gun. And then there's some dialogue here. The Nebulon is stabbing up another robot, and then we've got Rusty giving a line of dialogue here, and then this next page. So we work on this page, which is okay, but I've realised I've messed up my choreography for this fight. We don't want to see Captain Zep doing anything. We want to see Captain Zep doing anything straight away. We want to see Nebulon owning more, you know. So I might change this into 2 rows of panels with Nebulon sort of just owning all these robots, decapitating, lobbing an arm off, and then having this as well. I quite like this idea for a running gag. This robot's in the battle and can't actually fire a gun because his pincers don't allow him to actually hold the gun and shoot it at the same time, you know. So there's that page. So, you know, I've got the 3 heroes: Nebulon, Warrior Princess from Planet X, Captain Zap, Galactic Hero, and Rusty the Robot. She's going to say something pithy and heroish. You know, your brain of terror is at an end. I'm here to stop you, you foul fiend. And boss, I'm finding it hard to hold the gun. He's got a gun, can't hold it because of pincers. And then this guy, Nefario, it says, "You'll never stop me, Captain Zap. Guards, attack!" And that's what we're working on this panel. So I'll be working on this a bit more the weekend. Sort of, I'm happier with this colour scheme mostly. I want Nebulon to have a mostly red colour palette. Captain Zap's mainly blue, and Rusty's got to have green, but I suppose it's got some rust in there as well. So I'm happy with these guys. Nefario, I want him to have blue skin, black cloak, the black clothes with red detailing on there. He'll have gauntlets that are steel, and I might put a scar over his eye, But anyway, I'm going to work on that some more the weekend. I really want these pages are fun, but they are taking their time to do, and I really want to get these pages out of the way so I can get back to the other page I've got to do, which is page 20. These are pages 29, 30 and 31. And I've also got to do page 20. They're sort of, as a matter of recourse, they're sort of high on the priority at the moment. So that's what I've been working on today. Alright. Okay. Time to go now. Alright, see you later. Bye now. It's day 14. And today I basically started looking at page 30. There's only 2 panels in this shot. The bottom panel I'm quite happy with. It's this top panel which introduces the heroes. So I'm trying to get a good view. Let's get a good view in. So yeah, I've got these 3 characters, these are the 3 heroes. We got Princess Nebulon, and she's like this kind of a cross between Barbarella and Xena Warrior Princess, with a bit of Wonder Woman thrown in for good measure. Captain Zap, he's every square-jawed, lanterned hero ever created. He's Han Solo, he's Dan Dare, he's Captain Kirk, he's he's Buck Rogers. I mentioned Dan Dare, right? And then you got Rusty robot here, and I'm sort of redesigning this introduction panel. This panel introduces the characters, and I like the way that these two interact. So these two, I think they work really well. But she looks a bit distant to everybody else. It's tricky because I wanted some 3D. I didn't want the character front on. I wanted these going out and pointed. So wherever she goes, she's going to be obscured by the gun. So she has to be a little way. She has to be a little way from the main group, just so you can read her pose. So this creates something of a problem. So I'm currently looking into that, trying to work out a good solution. Her proportions are all wrong as well. Yeah, so she. It's tricky. It's really easy when you think it. Maybe it's it's current year and people talk about gender roles and gender identity and what do I say, representation and inclusivity and lots of other words that get bandied about. And it's strange. It's really hard to think of an interesting science fiction. It's interesting to try and think of a woman in sci-fi that isn't, say, like Princess Leia. It's really difficult. And we're going for a sort of a 50s take of sci-fi, so this is something that should look aesthetically similar to Flash Gordon, Buck Rogers, that sort of thing. Dan Dare. It's a sort of like, the only way I can describe it is a retrofuturism. So the temptation is to sort of make her look like a dolly girl, mini skirt, like something, a costume that wouldn't look out of place in the original series of Star Trek. So a William Ware Thesis style costume. And that's tricky. Then because she doesn't, then she's just a costume, and she has to have way more aids than this because she's going to carry the next page. I mean, these guys look cool, but they don't do a lot in the next page. It's all on her. She has to really take the fight. So I'm toying with the idea of just giving her a spacesuit like Captain Zap and colour coding it so it's got the red that it needs. It needs to have red in it. So these characters are defined by their colours, and the colours are important for a gag a little bit later on, or at least gag, stroke, story point a bit later on. So yeah, this is what we work on today. Tomorrow I'll work on it a little bit more, and I think we're going to have a much more interesting update tomorrow. So yeah, I think that'll do for today. Okay. And that's another week done. Another week of videos. So we begin again tomorrow, and that's day 14. All right. Bye now.